century, people started exhibiting flowers kind of ornamentally for the very first time. Of course, they'd grown them for food and medicine and herbs and dyeing, that sort of thing. But there became real vogue for the better off, obviously, who would start growing them to show. And they even had something called floral feasts. The gentlemen would get together, it was all men I'm afraid, and they would have what they called floral feasts, where they would celebrate their plants and share, I'm sure they'd share growing tips like we do today, but they'd also be eating and drinking and generally having a good time. And they particularly concentrated on a few varieties. And I was really inspired by this to do some work. And this piece here shows some of the flowers, the main flowers that they would grow. And it's going to be part of my exhibition for Oxfordshire Artweeks in May. I'll put the details below. And as well as this piece, which was done with various stitching, including some digital machine embroidery, and if you're interested in that process, which is quite involved but quite interesting, I'll link a video where you can see how I do that, and combining it with hand-dyed fabric. And I've also done some individual pieces for each flower, and I've done them slightly differently. I've combined the embroidery with some applique, using some more of my fabric. I've really enjoyed doing these combinations, putting them all together, and they'll be in frames. I'll show you them on my design wall at the moment. They're finished, but they need to go into frames. And it's so interesting, you start doing one bit of design and it leads to all sorts of other things. And I've also made some patches based on one or two of these designs, and these can be used on your clothes. And I've also made some double-sided ones that can be charms to sort of hang from bags. And I've still got lots more ideas. I'm hoping to get some more. I don't know if everything will get into the exhibition because there's just only so many hours in the day, aren't there? And I'm also doing some work which I'm very interested in, herbarium, which are collections of normally dried flowers. And these they started to do that about the same time in a sort of systematic way, so they could be studied for science. And they standardised the names and that sort of thing. And I'm hoping to get that finished in time for the exhibition as well. And there'll also be cyanotypes, because that's something I do regularly, which is when you use the sun's rays to produce beautiful blue shades in your prints. And I will be demonstrating that during my exhibition, hoping it will be sunny enough, like it is today, to do it outside, but I have got a UV lamp for backup. It's not so good. I like using the sun best. And if you fancy having a go yourself, there'll be some kits available, which I have with instructions and a video tutorial as well. And I've finished a course last term making a book at the Bibliographical Press at the Bodleian Library in Oxford. And that's where you learn how to do the old-fashioned typesetting with presses and very oily ink. And it was really interesting, quite time-consuming, but I learnt a lot, and we had to choose a theme for our book, and mine was all about my favourite tulips. So I combined the words with some lino prints of tulips, and that's another motif that's going to occur during the exhibition. And we learned how to do a proper case binding. So I have one book that's done like that will be on show in the exhibition, plus there'll be some other versions with different covers you'll be able to see, and I do make all sorts of artist books. I haven't done much formal book binding, which is what this was, but there's so many different ways that you can make books which doesn't require quite so much tuition. So they'll be on display as well for you to have a look at. And I'm also going to have some mixed media where I layer several different sorts of printing on panels, and I'll also have cards available, some tote bags. I think that's everything. Depends what I can fit in the time. I mean, there's still a month to go, so you never know. And of course, because my garden is so integral to my art, and vice versa, my garden's going to be open for you to have a look around as well. I can't promise all these flowers will be in bloom because the tulips are just starting now, but I'm hoping some of them will, and there should be some other things for you to see. And as well as in the garden and in the art, they'll be around the house as well. So please come and join me for my floral feast. And if you can't make it in person, I'm going to do a walk through the exhibition when everything is up. And so you'll be able to see it even if you live, say, in New Zealand. Somewhere like that, you'll still be able to see it. So I hope you'll be able to join me, Ellie and all the flowers in May. So see you then.